Tokyo Godfathers is an anime released in 2003, directed by Satoshi Kon.
It's a story of three homeless people. There's Jin, who's kind of a middle-aged alcoholic guy. Hannah, who's a drag queen. And Miyuki, who's a teenage runaway. So they kind of hang out together, argue, and fall out. It's set on Christmas Eve. So obviously they're cold, looking for somewhere to stay. I think they're looking for something, I can't remember, but they're picking through some rubbish, I think, aren't they?
Yeah,
and they find
rubbish, yeah.
an abandoned baby. Hence the sort of title. They become sort of the guardians and the godfathers of this baby, while they look after it, but also try and find out who's abandoned it and try and return it to the parents. I think there's an envelope with some information that's been left with it as well.
Yeah.
Not a lot though, but there's like a photo and other stuff. So yeah, over the course of the film we sort of learn more about this baby and where it's come from, and also about each of these characters as well. Jin has lost his daughter and his wife, and Hannah is sort of estranged from his family, and the same with Miyuki, who sort of has fallen out with her family and feels like she can't return home. And it's kind of a story of redemption for each of those characters, and sort of almost a film about sort of the magic of Christmas and things like that, Christmas miracles, surrounding this little baby. So it's your usual sort of crazy anime with lots of, extreme facial expressions and things like that from the characters, and lots of chases, and, some quite good comedy in there. Neither of us are particularly...
No, we're not, and that's kind of why, anime. This is our first animation on the channel. We haven't done one before. I've seen a few. I've seen Akira, obviously, is the big one.
Yeah.
I think I've seen Ghost in the Shell. I think I saw Ghost in the Shell 2. I don't think I've ever seen the first one. Someone said the second one is completely insane. I have also seen a couple of others so this is Satoshi Kon, and he died a few years ago. Right. I think he had pancreatic cancer. He died of that, so he died quite young. So I think this is a manga. Now I think I could get in trouble here, but I think manga is the studio, not the style. A lot of people, I think, for a lot of time, they thought it was the style. They say, oh, it's in a manga. They think, but I think it's the studio. A little bit like Ghibli is another studio.
Well, over here, obviously, manga is a distributor.
A distributor.
Yeah, I don't know if in Japan manga is even a word. I don't know. I don't know enough about it.
No, I don't know.
I think overall it's all just anime, isn't it? Basically, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, Ghibli is sort of almost like its own genre on its own, because it's. I don't know. They're kind of like a group of films by the same animators, and they're all crazy and weird and filled with strange things. I mean, I've seen a couple of those. I think Spirited Away and what was the other one? My Neighbor Totoro.
So this guy Satoshi Kon made Paprika, which was, I think that was his last one he did.
Right.
Weird, but amazing. I mean, he just really surreal. The animation just does some weird stuff. It's kind of set in an alternate. It's a bit like Videodrome, that concept, but really strange, and does some really crazy things in that film. And then he famously did it was a TV series called Paranoid Agent, and Perfect Blue was another one he did, which is very famous. Yeah. I mean, he only did about 4 or 5, and then the TV thing, and maybe a couple of other things, but not many in his career. But I think he has a lot of huge amount of fans. But I think this one is almost like maybe probably not obscure to his fans, but I think more people I think have heard of Paprika and Perfect Blue.
I've definitely heard of Perfect Blue, yeah.
Right, sure. And I think this is lesser known. Obviously, this one is more kind of realism. It's based in reality. There's some weird things in there, and there's certainly some surreal moments. And it's an animation, so it plays with surrealism a little bit at times, but it is more rooted in reality. So it's set in Shinjuku. So Tokyo is made up of different wards, and this one is set in Shinjuku, which is is like the entertainment district. There's lots of like karaoke bars and just kind of full on madness. But that's where this film is. That's the area this film is set in, and it kind of, I think it, that's why I went to Tokyo.
Yeah, I was going to say you went a few years ago.
Yeah, I went about 10 years ago, and it is like this. It's amazing. I mean, it's also like Blade Runner. A lot of people say that Blade Runner is kind of based on Tokyo. And when you arrive into Tokyo, I went from a coach from the airport into the city, and it's like all these kind of big bridges and roads that kind of all just intersect. And then I remember we went to we went to like there were some markets under it was like under a railway system, which really felt like the scene in Blade Runner when they're going, when they're eating all the the noodles on the sides of the street. It felt so much like Blade Runner Tokyo. It was insane. But then you watch a lot of these manga or anime, and you can totally, especially the ones set in Tokyo, they get it. They totally, and it's got its own. Obviously there are different cities that are iconic, but Tokyo, I think, is so iconic. It's an incredible place. But this film tells about homelessness, and I think homelessness is something when you're in Tokyo or you read about Japan, it's not something they really talk about much.
No.
But apparently, it is a problem, and it is something they don't talk about too much. Obviously, most countries around the world suffer from homelessness. There's certainly not as many. I don't think they have quite the problem as, say, London or LA obviously have a huge homeless problem, but I don't think it's as a problem out there as it is elsewhere, but it is certainly a social problem. So I think that's why this film is interesting, because it's telling about something that maybe isn't spoken about too much. It is odd. The Japanese have their own sense of humour and their own way of life, as everyone has their own ways of life and ways of looking at things. But I think it's quite
a universal tale.
No, well, yeah, maybe that, and I think it's quite a gentle film. It's quite odd. I've read quite a few reviews. A lot of people find it too coincidental. A lot of the things that happen in it is a bit coincidental
towards the end.
Yeah, but then of course other people said, but it's a Christmas tale, and maybe that's why it's the baby in it is called Kyoko, and Kyoko means pure child. So it's almost like, this is a miraculous tale where these wondrous things happen because it's at Christmas, and that's why these kind of coincidences are happening. It's quite sweet.
Yeah.
It's a horrible word,
it's a
nice, and it's set on Christmas Eve. And did you?
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I hadn't seen it or heard of it, so no, I didn't know what to expect, but no, I enjoyed it. Yeah, like you say, it's just a sweet little story. The characters are fun to watch. Yeah, and where the story goes, it gets a little bit dark towards the end, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And but no, I think and like you said, there was some coincidences at the end which kind of stretch plausibility, but it doesn't. It didn't really matter. I think that it just it wrapped things up. I think for the characters, and I can't really say any more without spoiling the things that happen. But
exactly.
But no, it's I enjoyed it. Yeah, it was good. Thought it was good.
Great.
I would definitely check out more of a similar.
I have this. I got this on DVD, which I actually picked up recently. I suddenly thought, we were thinking of because doing Christmassy movies, and I thought, we haven't done an animation before, and I suddenly remembered this one, and I hadn't seen it for a while, and so I don't think it's on Blu-ray.
It is, yeah.
Oh, it is on
Apparently,
Blu-ray.
yeah.
Oh, I couldn't find it on Blu-ray, so I just picked this up. It's got a couple of features on there.
Yeah.
The process of animation, Animax making of it. I haven't watched that.
I had a quick look. I mean, it was some behind-the-scenes stuff, talking about the process of the animation and things like that. And the director drew lots and lots of storyboards. They also, because the movement is quite realistic, it's not mocap, but they do film people acting out the scenes, so they then have a reference point for the animation. And the director played the part of Hannah.
Right.
And you could see him running down through a park for reference, so they can draw it.
Oh, cool.
So and they wear similar clothes to what they're wearing in the movie. So it is on Blu-ray. I don't think it's in the US. I think there was an Australian Blu-ray as well, but for some reason it's like window boxed, so there's like black bars all the way around the picture, which is a bit odd.
Oh, right.
So I don't know why that is. The UK one, I think, isn't like that. So I mean, how much better the Blu-ray looks over the DVD, don't know.
Great, and I mean, it looks, it looks. I mean, again, not being a huge animation fan or anime fan, should we say, I can't really reference a huge amount of different Japanese. I'm sure there are many people out there who understand the styles. It's like comic books, isn't it? Different comic books have their own artists, they have their own style, their own kind of staple way of doing things. So I couldn't really compare, but I think it's a nice. It's got your typical. Obviously, they're based on Asian people and Asian characteristics. So it's got that in there. But I think it's got this kind of nice. It's almost like dreamlike. It's snowing a lot of the time in there, so it feels very cold. I wasn't there in, I don't know how cold. I think Japan gets quite cold. I have to say, I was there in September, so it was quite warm when I was there. But it's kind of got this kind of almost feels like a dream-like setting, even though they are homeless and outside much of the film.
I mean, what I would say about a lot of these films is the attention to detail.
Oh yeah,
in the background.
In the background, yeah.
It's just which you don't. I guess I think most sort of animation that comes out in cinema now is all CGI, isn't it? You rarely see a sort of hand-drawn animation film anymore. Somebody's sat there and drawn that background, and they just go that extra mile.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Lots of things that if you pause it and look, you can see all sorts of little details and things.
And that was Tokyo Godfathers. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, let us know in the comments below.
Hit the subscribe button up there and hit the bell for notifications. There's some other videos to check out over there. Come and find us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram, and come back next week for another video.